Hi, everybody. This is Rebekah Freedom, and this is episode number 49 of Heard Not Seen, produced by John Beethan. Today, we're going to be talking about sex, money, and decision-making. So, here we are together in an intimate space. How many big decisions did you have to make today? How many little ones did you have to make? And which ones were around sex and money? So I was invited to a symposium out in Palm Springs where a fellow, a person in the industry of coaching invited me, and it was a ticket for $179, which was supposed to be a $10,000 value to go to this symposium. And of course, you think, $200 for something that's worth $10,000. That makes total sense to be able to go to something like this. And if you're an entrepreneur, like I am, it can often be, crunch time where you think, is this worth my money? Especially if you're in a place of, how you say lack, or the money flows are dammed up. Damn it. So it can be hard to make a decision on what to do next with your business, what to do next to make more money if you're an employee, because there's really two genres in the world of creating income, and that's to be an employee or to be an entrepreneur, to be the inventor, the artist, or to be the person working for the person that is the inventor and the artist. And certainly both have their merit, both have their ups and their downs. So here's a little piece of advice that came to me today as I was just really mulling over this decision. Do I spend this $200? Because, this month, in the month of July, I had to liquidate more money from savings to be able to continue the roof over the head agenda, the food in the stomach agenda, the basic needs agenda. And I share this because although I've been in business for 5 years as an entrepreneur, I've had financial backing due to inheritances from my mother dying and from my grandmother dying. And so I've had money in the bank to be able to attempt entrepreneurship. And in doing that, I've also taken jobs all the way from $10 an hour jobs working in a jiu-jitsu gym to spa jobs to working at a rehab, which was a really cushy job. But inevitably, I would be dismissed from every single job that I worked. And I know that Gabrielle Bernstein has a similar story where she said, I just kind of got fired from my jobs. So, I'm on the hard road of entrepreneurship. And what I want to share with you, the tip that really came to me today as I was thinking and making the decision, do I go to this Palm Springs symposium or do I just redirect my money elsewhere, is that there's such a flood of information available to us at any given time. There's iTunes University, there's YouTube University. You can do tutorials online for free at any given minute, but will you have the discipline to actually do that? The reason that school is so effective, going to a program or going to school, is because it focuses your energy and you're not scattered. And it can be hard to decide what the right thing is to do for you. So here's what you do. You pick it and you stick it. This is also going to be a segue into the sex talk, but we'll talk about business and money right now first. You pick it and you stick it. You simply find a mentor online. Danielle LaPorte is incredible. She wrote White Hot Truth and Desire Map, and she is on fire. Jayson Gaddis is another really the smart couple. He's a really great coach if you're married and you are struggling with conflict and you're thinking that conflict means the relationship has to end. There are just a handful of big name coaches like Les Brown, Tony Robbins, of course, Wayne Dyer. I have also Esther Parel, which she has a new book coming out about affairs and how they weave our way into our relationships in society. So again, even in that small moment, I named about 5. And of course, I want to add the most important one, Rebekah Freedom. If you are going through a breakup and the reason that you would work with a breakup therapist or a breakup counselor such as myself is because I sit there right in the trenches looking at what breaks relationships up. So it's not only useful if you're going through a breakup or you're making the decision to break up, it's useful if you're in that relationship and you're teetering on creating that closeness and that intimacy. So again, pick it and stick it simply means that whatever problem you have in your life, if it's financial, then you find one financial guru, just one. You don't find 12. You don't jump all over the map. You simply focus on one and invest your energy and money and time into that particular program. Now, again, a program that would cost $2,000 cost $200, but be worth $10,000 is certainly an amazing, amazing deal. What I'm aware of, though, is when those sort of offerings are put in place, you can expect an upsell. Brendan Bouchard is another person who high performance coaches who's going to be doing that. He invites people to his symposium for a ticket price of $1,000 and then upsells them to $10,000. So when you're beginning with someone, of course, you can get value all along the way. But you have to ask yourself, am I really going to do the university commitment? Am I going to go the 4-year commitment with this person? Can I see myself working with this person for, a minimum of 12 months? Can I really see the long haul? And am I invested in real change, or am I going to just look for the quick fix time after time after time? So the first tip I'm giving you when it comes to decision-making and money is there's going to be lots of different offers on the table. Lots of different things are available at our fingertips, especially since the internet is available and you can have a lot of different symposiums. I will say that my producer, John, is really great with this platform called Expertise, where you can upload your own webinars and offer them to the world and create passive income doing that. And there's also another platform. It starts with a P. It's called Patreon, I believe. Yeah, Patreon is another. I coach too. Yeah, and John, he really provides the tech support, creates beautiful websites, and coaches people through all the tech kind of components needed to be able to have a successful entrepreneurial business. So fine, pick it and stick it as your first decision-making thing. Just pick it. Imagine being with that program for the length of that program, 3 months, but really you shouldn't invest in anything more than a year. If you're really wanting to look at massive development. Of course, you're going to go, if you went to a symposium that lasted a weekend or a workshop, that's going to plant seeds that, of course, again, will have to be cultivated to really create change. So the second piece of decision-making advice, how to make a decision that I would give you is really to kind of find out your personality type. And there are several different places you can do this. You can find out your Enneagram type. You can find out your human design type. You can find out your Myers-Briggs type. And you can find out your astrological type. There's lots of different methodologies to give you a better sense of your thumbprint, your internal thumbprint, how you move through the world, like where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, where you need to ask for help. And tip number 3 is really learning how to ask for help. So we'll get into that in a second. So again, pick it and stick it. Number 1. Number 2 for decision making is find your personality type. Again, my partner, he offers the ability to find out your human design. It's a really quick process, but it has just intense description. And of course, look in your local area for somebody who does Enneagrams. The MMPI, the personality type is you can do a short survey online for free. There's paid and unpaid personality tests you can do. So I encourage you to know that, to give yourself a better anchoring in what lights you up and turns you on, and how you make your own choices and decisions, what exhausts you and what lights you up. The third decision-making process is asking for help. Like, ask for help. Like, we get locked into this, I have to do it myself, perfectionism place. And ultimately, the most successful people really know how to delegate. They all have a team. I can't think of one entrepreneur that does not have a team of minions behind him, or in this case, godlike figures, John Beethan, who really provide that support to hold systems in place and to handle the minutia of business, of life. And we have all different sorts of people that do that for us. We can have personal chefs. We can have food delivery services. We can have maids that come clean your house. We can have personal trainers that give us, programs so our bodies change. We can have different nutritionists and coaches that take us through cleanses. There's a plethora available to us, and at any given moment, it's easy to plug in to those systems. So also, I would say Jolie Dawn is one of the greatest people I know for beginning entrepreneurs. Her investments range in the thousands of dollars, but they're worth every penny, because she gives you really great systems. For instance, if you're going to be launching a webinar or something like that, you simply figure out the framework of it, and you say, over these 12 weeks, we're going to be doing this many modules, and over those modules, it's going to cost $3,500, or if you're just doing a beta test one, it could be $500 for people to participate, and then you simply get on a platform like GoToMeeting or Zoom calls, and you have people sign up and call in for those modules. And then you have simply launched something that made you anywhere from $5,000 to $35,000 in a matter of 1 month. Of course, there's lots of marketing and different things that lead up to that. So I'm talking about decision making really in the entrepreneurial realm, because it's I'm noticing myself running into challenges where I have tried to pick it and stick it, haven't really loved the program that I went through. I have know my personality type. I'm an Aquarius with Aquarius. That's an Aquarius and Aries together, which is probably appropriate to say, because my sun sign is in Aquarius. My moon, which is emotionality, is Aries. Dream it and do it. Rising sign in Libra. And I know my personality. I am a rebel without a clue or cause sometimes, and I need something to respond against. Also, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is a really great way. It's a good hack if you are like me, which is I'm a polarity responder, meaning that if I say I'm not going to eat cheese, that's all I'll eat that day. If I say I'm going to clean my bathroom, I'll clean my house instead. If I say I'm going to work out, then I sleep. I'm going to sleep, then I'll work out. Whatever I put in place as a rule for myself, inevitably I go against, because I need something to rebel against to be able to have a sense of self. So when it comes to really navigating all the small decisions between what kind of toothbrush am I going to, sorry, I hit the mic. What kind of toothbrush am I going to use? Clothes I'm going to wear, food I'm going to eat for the day, what's my commute time going to be, who am I going to meet up with, what plans do I have, how am I going to launch my business and be successful in life? one of the areas that your decision making really bleeds into and has one of the clearest impacts is your sex life. So let's talk about how your decision making in your financial affairs and your business, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, affects your sex life. If you're an entrepreneur, there's no hours. You don't really keep normal hours because you're thinking about the business all the time. And even when you're not thinking about the business and you're trying to take a break, you're thinking about the business. When you're an employee, you just have the hours of work that you go to, come home, and then you switch gears into domestic life and do your life in that way. And of course, the result of how you're spending your time, the decisions that you are making, has an impact on your sex life, because if we're not feeling resourced, if we feel like we don't have enough money or income, it directly impacts our self-esteem and our ability to show up for our partners, to communicate our emotions clearly, and to really be responsive instead of reactive. So a lot of times you'll see people withholding sex because they feel like they're in a place of lack. There's not enough money flows. In addition to that, sex and money are very much the same energy based in creativity in the second chakra, yet another system that you can walk through is Tantra, the Tantric system, and Ayurveda to find out the balance of your energy, your chakras, your Kundalini, and how it's moving. So how it affects your sex life is what you're not expressing in your everyday business life will show up in the bedroom. When you see people who are typically dominant in their daily life, they want to be dominated in the bedroom. That's one example. If you're in a position in your life where, partnerships go through this, where one partner is working 50, 60-hour weeks, they don't necessarily have the energy to be present or the bandwidth to show up in that physical connected space. And so what happens is our egos flip out. And what I love is what Wayne Dyer says about ego is edging God out. So simply, we all want to feel the sense of connectedness and of flow and of creativity and of ability to be efficient and effective in life. So to do this, to be able to have a really ripe and dynamic and beautiful and connective sex life, to be able to have a flourishing business where you are creating the income you want, and to be able to really advance in your life, it's going to take these two foundational things. The first is always gratitude and joy for what you do have. I think to myself often when I look at my bank account about the debt that I may be accruing, and I also think about everything that's been provided for me and continues to be provided for me up to this point. I live on a beautiful property. I happen to live in one of the most beautiful places in America, which is San Diego. I have incredible relationships and friendships. Again, shout out to my producer, John Beethan, and to my partner, Joe Berhaki. I can never pronounce his Polish last name. To all my friends in Colorado who continue to be a support and a network of people, and to the depth of love that I experience in my family. We all, of course, have struggles and barriers. Not all of us have these really deep, loving relationships. So what I encourage you to do is, if you can't find gratitude, don't try to just skip to gratitude, to this place of, oh, I'm so happy with my life. I'm so good. What the second thing is, and this is in the article that we'll be including in the show notes, the most important decision you can make to make a difference in your life is the people you hang around. Of an example in the article is that And this woman said, well, instead of deciding where I'm going to go eat, I decide, well, who am I going to hang out with, and know that they'll probably pick a place that is going to be delicious and that I'll like, because I like their company. I like who they are. And we generally are on the same page. So it's two birds with one stone. Because we also have a bandwidth for a certain amount of decisions throughout the day. Some of them become autonomic, where we're just automatically responding. But a lot of us have to pivot and turn and make different schedule changes throughout the day. And busyness being a blessing that we have in our lives, where there's lots of things unfolding all at once. So when it comes to decision making with money, entrepreneurship, and being an employee, with sex, with expression, relation, and all of those things, one of the most important decisions you will be making is who you spend your time with. They say that our personality is really created from the sum of the 5 people we spend the most time with. You being one of those people. Like, we often disassociate and are unwilling to spend time with ourselves because of the discomfort of the human condition. Always wanting more, always wanting the next thing. Done, I'm done, and on to the next. So, thank you for listening to Heard Not Seen. What I want to offer you is the ability to work with me if you are in that place, that crossroads in your life, which you are, okay? Every single one of us at any given day can stand at the crossroads of our life, saying, what do I do next? How do I get to where I want to get? And I offer free initial consultations and different ways that you can earn free sessions with me. So I invite you to reach out to me at RebekahFreedom.com. That's REBEKAH freedom.com. And together we'll get your life on track so you can pick it and stick it and get what you want. Thank you so much for listening, and be set free.